Good morning and welcome to Quilt Chat. Thanks for joining us this morning. You know what? We just have so many things going on, and the number one thing on my mind is we have a deadline for a quilt contest coming up.
Oh, how wonderful.
So if you're going to enter the Daytona Beach contest, the deadline is Friday night, 11:59. But I'll just give you a little tip. If you get that entry in before Andrea gets back here on Monday.
Little secret tip there, huh?
Secret tip.
You're running a little late, don't freak out.
But you know what? These quilters are procrastinators. And you know what? It's so easy now. You can enter the whole thing online.
Well, the thing is, you want to make sure every little detail is perfect.
Yes.
You know, and there's always one more.
Always one more little thing to do, right?
I had a question for you, Bonnie. So, say like I'm just Quilter Linda, and I have just finished the most glorious quilt I've ever made in my life, and I think this will most definitely win Best of Show at Spring Paducah. How on earth would I enter? So, how do I know my quilt's okay? You know, my quilt qualifies.
Well, do you know what? A lot of people don't realize that their quilts are as good as they are.
Oh, that's
true.
Yes.
I interview people who have entered and won for the first time at every one of our shows. Mm-hmm. So you just have to be brave. And if your quilting friends are telling you, you need to enter this in some of these big shows, well, then you probably need to try it out. And, you know, I interviewed one lady who won a blue ribbon at the Virginia Beach show, and she had entered 10 times.
That's
Hadn't
amazing.
won a ribbon, but at this show, her quilt was up there amongst the top ones, and she won a blue ribbon. So you never know.
Isn't that wonderful?
But to enter, you would just go to quiltweek.com and click on the contest button in the bar at the top, and you'll find all of the rules. And the one thing I will tell you is that make sure that you read the dimensions of the categories.
Right. Very important.
And measure your quilt. You know, sometimes the measurements kind of slip out of our mind a little bit. Make sure you measure the quilt and make sure that's the number one reason for quilts being disqualified is that they're the wrong size for the category.
Well, that's simple.
It is simple, but it's just one of those little details you need to take care of at the beginning.
Wonderful.
And then everything that you need to input about your quilt. Your name, the title of the quilt, the size of the quilt, how it's quilted. There are a number of questions that you can just click buttons and be able to fill in. The size, you put the size in, and that's why you need to measure, so you have those dimensions.
Really good.
And the best possible pictures that you can get, right?
Yes.
Because that's how they are juried in.
Yes, and you don't want quilts lying on the floor, and you get this angle like this of the quilt, or the ones that have people's hands and feet.
Oh.
And the quilt isn't straight.
That might happen. What about cats?
Usually the cats aren't in the pictures.
Okay.
But you do really want to, and I always take my pictures about 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you get when the sun is not directly overhead, because now you're going to get the shadows enough to be able to show your quilting.
Those are always beautiful
And
shots.
you can upload those photos. You need a detail. And please pick out a really good spot on your quilt. Sometimes people give us a detail and it's like, I don't think they looked at that picture because it wasn't a really, really good spot on their quilt. Pick out the best spot of your quilt for that detail. And then we want to see all 4 edges of the quilt. And number one rule, it needs to be completed before you enter it.
So I should bind it first.
You probably put,
Yes,
put the binding on
Binding
first.
would be a good idea.
All right.
Well, but
You know,
I know that people sometimes put the binding on the front and then glue it on the back temporarily till they
I've never
get it.
heard of that, Bonnie.
Oh yes,
Wow.
yes they do.
Wow.
As long as the picture is accurate, right?
Well, and you know, we can tell from the pictures because we can zoom in and out on those pictures. If you have areas that are not quilted, sometimes the quilts come in that way. And again, that means it isn't completed. So we want to see
no shortcuts, just really get it done.
Yes, but if you've got that beautiful quilt,
yes,
by all means, we want you to put it in the show.
Every detail done.
And there's a kind of a guessing game too when it comes to categories, because you get to pick the category that you want to enter your quilt into. And I think being a little bit choosy about that might help you to maybe get into a category where you don't expect as many quilts as another. You know, it's just, I think a trade-off Sure. You never know. We never know what's going to come in.
No. And
but it's
usually the number one categories are the wall sizes.
Right.
We get more entries in the wall sizes than we do in the large quilts. And so if you're making large quilts, by all means enter, because you probably have a better chance.
Mm-hmm.
That is so fun. Thank you. That's really helpful.
Well, and then, so that's October 19th is Daytona.
Okay.
And November 2nd, which will be here before we know it,
is almost here.
Is Lancaster.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
Yes. So be sure you put both of those on your calendar, and you can enter those quilts today. You don't have to wait till the deadline.
No, that's true.
Do you know we've got friends watching from South Africa, from British Columbia? We have, I mean, that's a span there. We're really happy to have everybody listening this morning.
Hi, Jolene and Betty and Francis, and you do that one. Janeth?
Oh, Janeth?
Yes.
Janeth, yes.
Anne's always good at my hard works. Thank you, Anne.
I try.
Well, I know we have some really fun patterns for the quilters today.
Oh, it was a doozy.
Guess what? So if you want some free quilt patterns, the AQS blog is the place to be today.
Visit aqsblog.com. We have, to start off with, our Quilt 2018 for this month's project is 2-block quilts. So we'll show you mulberry, pie, and Emily Cross designed this and clearly was in a pie mood. And so this one features 2 blocks, which is a shoe-fi block and Gentleman's Fancy.
Yes.
And when you put them side by side, they create this really great design that she even extended off into the border.
And look what a fun grid the blocks make when they come together.
Would that not be
that's 2 tones of berry then?
It is.
Nice. Nice.
It is.
Just like a pie
so
would
beautiful. And then we have our hero image quilt that we have the kit available for. It's that beautiful star quilt in tulip pink fabrics. Oh my goodness. Confetti star.
Yes.
Just
it's very
gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And today we kicked off some fall stuff, and one of our fall adventures are beautiful country barns. And so on the blog you can access a big long barn, and that quilt is the one over in the member content. For AQS members, it's a special quilt that will have 13 different blocks.
And that's what you're seeing on the screen now.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing on your monitor. And they will be released at most, or at least weekly, but probably a little bit more frequently than that, because we'd like to get them done before
So there's
Christmas.
13 different barns that go on that quilt?
There are, and then the big long red barn, this one right here, is the one that you get at aqsblog.com, and that pattern is available for free. It is 36 by 24 inches.
Oh, what a nice wall hanging. Nice gift item.
Wouldn't it be
that
wonderful?
would be a great
that's so
gift.
fun. A great gift for Christmas.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yes.
one of the things I love about the different barn things is you can always embellish them with embroidery, so it makes it look like your farm.
Yes, or you could use some animal prints and put animals in the windows,
So many
in the
fun
doorways.
scraps. And I always love the fun clouds, and oh yes, I always love all the fun fabrics.
So go to AQS blog for the wall hanging, the one that was just shown.
You're correct.
But then on the members only area, you're going to find that whole quilt eventually.
Whole quilt. Yes.
Eventually.
Absolutely. And so
One of the
check
fun
back
things
regularly.
about those barns is they all have a barn quilt on them too.
Yes, it's a quilt.
So
with
it's a
barn
quilt on a barn on a quilt.
It is. We got very quilty with you just right now. That is right. And also over in the AQS member area, we have a quilt that is actually designed by one of our designers here. She's not a quilter, but we're converting her.
We are. She's loving it.
But it's always fun to see what they come up with when their imagination is the only limit and they don't know all the rules. And this quilt knocked my socks off. She calls it jumping in leaves because that's exactly what she imagined, was a big old pile of leaves. And it is a stunning quilt. I just love it.
Great fall quilt.
Great fall quilt. It uses 2.5-inch strips.
And easier than you would expect, I think.
I think it's great for a beginner.
Yes. Can I show you the only
Show
trick?
us how easy.
The only trick you need to know is how to piece this seam right here.
Yes.
And so I've done it 2 different ways. I've taken my ruler and laid it on here and laid the 45-degree angle on this side so I could draw my line diagonally this way and put a pin on, and I did it in ink so you could see it a little bit better, because once you sew that seam, here you go. How easy is that?
Perfect diagonal.
Now, if you don't want to take the time to do the lines, some people don't draw anything, but I did it also by just pressing that corner.
Oh, good
and
idea.
And now when you open
and
it
that's
up.
Really clever.
Now, I just want to give you one little tip here, because what you have to always remember is that form an A. Here's one leg of the A, here's the other egg of the lay, and you're going to sew a cross on the cross of the A.
Yes.
And if you do it any other way, you're going to end up, you can see we start with an L shape and we end up with it straight. If you sew it the wrong way, you're going to start with it straight and end up with an L shape.
And that's a completely different block.
True. That's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different one.
Yes.
Yeah, this is also good for combining strips for bias binding.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Or if you had to piece a border
piecing.
and you know what? If I were piecing a border and I needed to match the print, I would do it this way, because now you have the print on your two pieces that you can see them to be able to match it. Great tip for doing piece borders.
It is.
And then once you get this piece sewn, then all you have to do is add your 2.5-inch strip on both sides and your block is done.
And so it is very quick and easy.
Yes.
Whip one of these up in no time.
Straight stitching is all it is.
Yes, just simple straight stitching. So it's a great quilt for beginners to pick up and give it a try.
Very fun.
All right, now I have to know, did you get hit in the head? Did you get hit in the head with the iron? Did you read the story, the 9 Stitches story?
Isn't that a great story? That is actually based on a true event.
Yeah, Betsy was telling us that all of those stories that she's putting in on point are true stories to someone.
The cat knocked it over, right?
Yes, they're fictitious stories with fictitious characters. But the events actually have happened to quilters, and they're ones that I'm always saving those great stories. But the iron just sewing right along and the iron whacked you on the back of the head, that actually happened in our family studio, and it was definitely the cat's fault.
I hope it was a small iron.
It was a regular iron.
Oh.
It was a whole tragic event, screaming and everything, because it was just shocking. It wasn't hot, thank the Lord.
Thankfully.
But it was a shock to have an iron just come tumbling at you. And so,
I'd say.
yes, we named it the monster. After that, the iron became the monster. And so when we were trying to think of really spooky, scary things that happened to quilters, we went, oh, that's definitely going on the list. It is.
And so you have a project that goes along with that.
Yes, right? A little iron cover. Now, this is a word of caution. Iron covers are not meant for hot irons. They're not meant for plugged-in irons that might turn themselves on. So please do not make this and put it on your iron and then turn it on.
It's to transport your iron.
It's to transport when you're putting it on the shelf to store it. But what's really fun,
just look a little nice.
Yes, it's just it keeps your sole plate protected, and it also keeps all the dust out of your little water spout holes.
Sure.
Yes. And so what this is for is just 3 simple pieces. It fits over your iron, just a little simple cover. But on the sole plate, you can attach googly eyes, you can decorate it all fun, you can give your iron hair, you can give it horns.
Oh,
you can make it into a cat too, couldn't you?
Sure could. You could definitely make it into a cat.
Speaking of cats, look at the quilt that we have behind us today.
I love those kitties.
Isn't this nice? This was from a pattern that you'll find in the November issue of AQ. And it's just a very, very fun quilt called Cat Gravitas by Wendy Sheppard. Now, are you going to ask me, what does gravitas mean?
What does gravitas mean, Ann?
Well, I thought you would ask.
Thank you.
Gravitas is a word that means solemn or dignified. And you know, these cats are not whimsical cats on here. These are very solemn.
Mm-hmm. They're checking for your points.
Yes, they are. They are sort of intense cats, but very fun to make. They're just a straight-on applique. And,
oh, that's fun.
And the quilt is a very easy quilt to make, actually.
And I really love the different sizes of the block.
And it's dropped down in there.
Yes.
Is that not cute?
Yes.
Right. So if you're looking for this, look in the November issue of American Quilter.
You have so many good quilts this month.
Thanks.
Oh, so
now I know last week we gave them quite a few patterns for some gift ideas.
We did, and this week we gave them some patterns for ideas to make gifts for friends and family. And so You can make one special, just this is for, Aunt Murdy, or you could make, like I used to do when my kids were young, 20 of them, and everybody got one. I love those kind of gifts where you can assembly line them.
Right.
And you get them all done, and then everybody gets your favorite pot holder for Christmas. And they love it because they use it.
Yes.
It's so wonderful. So.
Yes. Well, and one year I think I did 50 little lap fleece blankets for everybody.
Oh, how wonderful.
And I embroidered their name diagonally across one corner of it.
You are so cool.
And you know what? Everybody thought it was a wonderful, wonderful gift. And what it really was is I bought every $5 fleece blanket I could find here in Paducah.
That's
Great
fantastic.
idea. Great idea.
And so, but you add that embroidery on there, which you could do by machine or by hand, and you come up with a $15 or $20 gift.
Right.
That's so neat.
Have you seen the microwave bowl holders that
Yes.
are being made these days? Mindy Jacobs has an article also in the November issue.
It's
It
in
tells
there
you
too.
how to make those. And again, there's a heat warning there where they have to be made
Yes.
with 100% cotton
Yes.
Yes.
And cotton batting.
batting.
Yes.
Everything cotton so that it won't start sparking in your microwave. Because you can
That's
actually,
true.
if you do
Those
them
all
in all
fabrics
cotton,
are
you
good.
can put them into the microwave and pull them out.
Oh, that's so
Well,
cool.
the gallon just happened to
Oh.
bring one.
So we
Right
just
here.
happen to have one right here.
Oh, and they're so cute.
Yeah.
And that's perfect because I always
So
hurt my fingers.
it's a two-tone, a little outside and inside design.
And it'd make a
And
great
so
hat.
if you eat in front of the TV like I often do,
Right.
you can hold that in your hand.
Exactly, exactly. Or for those things that you don't hardly want to grab out of the microwave because they're so hot.
Right.
Yeah. That's wonderful. And that's a really great gift idea.
They're fun.
Yeah.
Well, so we can't wait to hear what you're doing and the quilts that you're making. And boy, we've seen some really fun ones on the Project Parade
Yes.
on Facebook. Oh my goodness, there was the lion quilt done
Wasn't that amazing?
in
Yes.
27 different fabrics she used to make that. And
beautiful.
it was beautiful. So you can, we never see enough quilts. We like
No.
to see quilts all the
Always.
time, don't we?
Yes. And so if you haven't joined, be sure to look us up, the AQS Project Parade, and it's right there on Facebook, and just join the group.
All right. Next thing that's happening Quilt Show wise is we will be opening registration for Daytona Beach next Tuesday, October 23rd. So we're in the final proofing of that now. So mark your calendar so you can get in there. We've got Ricky Timms will be there with us in Daytona Beach this
Ricky
year.
Timms at the beach? This
At
is
the
going to be a
beach.
party.
He's never been there before, so he'll be
Oh,
doing
that'll
an
be
evening
wonderful.
program, but he'll also be teaching. So if you want to get in those classes, you want to make sure you jump on it right away. We will be sending an email to all of the AQS members with the link to go register. All the members get 2 weeks advance registration. That's
Good to
one of your
know.
benefits.
Jump right in and get your favorite class.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
So
I felt fast.
be ready for opening of Daytona Beach registration next Tuesday, and we'll be back here next Wednesday.
We will.
See you then.